to ascertain the most practicable and economical route for a railroad from the Mississippi River to the Pacific Ocean. The railway, one of the most important advancements in technology, not only important in modern society, but it was an important factor to the US. Even though the train may not seem as important to society now with airplanes, the US main economic growth in the 1800s was the railway. Not only was the railway the quickest compared to ships, it was the fastest way of transportation to get across the continent at the time. The first transcontinental railroad, or the first railroad that connected the East Coast to the West Coast, a train that goes across the continent. The railway was not only influential to the US as it was the main shipping route for things going from east to west and west to east. It was the first railroad built to connect the east to the developing west, and it also provided work for the veterans of the Civil War and the gold miners who were looking for extra jobs. The US not only relied on the railroad. In the absence of the railway, the US gross domestic product, or GDP, would have dropped to an estimated 3.2 or 2.7 GDP. The absence of the railway, most cowboys would out west would not have made profit herding cattle. Because of the slaughterhouses and farms that are stationed near railway stations along the railway made a good place to send products out quickly. The US production of cotton was a southern state main produce. They were shipped to most European countries, which contributed to the majority of the US economy. Not only did the US economy grow dramatically when production shifted to the big factories in the urban areas instead of the agricultural fields, which only produced enough to let the farmer survive off of it. The West had a major industry, which was better known as the mines. These mines were mostly gold mines in California and Colorado, but eventually a new type of mineral was discovered in Leadville, Colorado, which was silver. Silver made a significant impact on the US economy, so big that the US economy based the US dollar off of the silver. The railroad was not only influential to ship goods, but also the West had a pull factor. The West was known to be the land of opportunity, as a lot of people traveled out west to start a better life with a clean slate. The railway provided that opportunity. People have been traveling out west ever since the Homestead Act of 1862. They'd use wagonways and horses with wagons. The West was also known for the California Gold Rush and Pikes Peak Gold Rush. This also gave hope to people moving west to look for gold or other important minerals and start a fresh slate in the West. Silver, as mentioned earlier, was also a major product of the mining industry, which happened to also be where the Pikes Peak and California Gold Rush came in. The railroad was not only influential in giving the US an advantage economically, but it was also a part of the Industrial Revolution in the US. We also see the trains and railroads being used for hunting bison. The bison were not only an important part of Native American culture, but was also decimated for their connection to the Native Americans. The buffalo were skinned for their hides, their tongues removed, and their meat made into jerky to profit on the market out in the east and the west coasts. With the hunting of bisons on the train, the meat, the hides and the tongues of the bison were not easily spoiled due to being able to be transported quickly across the country and sold. The railway contributed to the American West with great positivity in the economy, with hides, meat, and farm products that were produced in the American West. The railroad was the driving force behind the growth of the U.S. economy. It has been researched that the U.S. could not have grown to the point of where it is today without the railway's influence on the economy. The U.S. grew mainly because of the railway until it changed to the airplanes and other vehicles. Let the railway be a reminder that even though we make money, it comes at the cost of the environment around us, like the bison and Native Americans who suffered through the hardships. All of my sources and links to the websites that I use for this script will be linked down in the description. Like and subscribe.